Hello, hello. Welcome on into another episode of the Whiskey Crusaders. I'm Will.
I'm Matt.
On today's episode, we're talking about Writer's Tears and their Copper Pot Irish whiskey. Don't you forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Click that notification bell. Matt, can you tell me a little bit more about this particular bottle?
I can. So this beautiful Writer's Tears Copper Pot. The first thing we're talking about from the Walsh Distillery. We're finally getting to that. I don't know. Like I said, we got to get to some distilleries at some point in time. First heard about these guys on the Whiskey Vault. I think it's one of the first things they actually ever reviewed, like their fourth review, something like that. Well, anyway, so the Walsh Distillery started in 1999 by Bernard and Rosemary Walsh with a mission to create the best, Irish whiskey from the gone-by era of the 19th and the early 20th century. Their family motto was the never say die, so they never gave up, and they started coming away with these cool things. So they have the Writer's Tear brand and the Irishman brand, and we'll review the Irishman at some point in time as well. All right, and they are made up from traditional Irish recipes from the 19th century. And by 2006, they would serve a long-term deal to be able to prescribe what kind of whiskey they wanted made, rather than just sourcing from whoever and everyone and doing things like that. In fact, the Walsh is not coming out of the States till 2015, so we are lucky enough to actually get this whiskey now, which is very nice. And by 2023, they actually be their own distillate, not from someone else. So that's kind of cool. So looking forward to trying their own stuff when it gets around to that point in time. It's in a place called Royal Oak. I'm not really sure where that is in Ireland, but somewhere called Royal Oak. So cool, whatever. They broke ground in 2016, and they say by 2020 they'll be able to put 8 million bottles on the shelf per year. So that's a pretty hefty amount of whiskey to be putting out there. They said the very first distillery in Ireland to combine pot still and single malt, whereas most distilleries also add grain in. So they have zero grain. They don't work with grain for these current products. Now they will, in their new distillate, will make with grain, but all these current ones don't. So the first supposed to do it. They're also the first modern one to make any cask strength products. So that's we can thank them for that. So good job on that. That's pretty cool. They were bought out in 2021 by the Amber Beverage Group. So Bernard and Rosemary will stay on as the head leading up just all the capital, all those problems they don't have to deal with anymore. That's now this Amber Group instead. All right, so Writer's Tears was actually named for the great Irish poets, novelists, and playwrights of the early 19th and 20th century, when the peak of the scene of both Irish whiskey and of all of those different arts. So like Bernard Shaw, Oscar Wilde, James Joyce, Samuel Beckett, Bram Stoker, people like that, things you might just slightly have heard of some of the great works that they've done. So when it comes to the inspiration of when you're sitting in your pub, that they drank so much whiskey when they were so inspired by the people there that they actually cry tears of whiskey from drinking so much. So that's where the name comes from. So it's kind of a cool name. But yeah, so basically the other reason it's called that is the reason they're calling it the Copper Pot is there is no grain in here, and the whiskey barons at the time thought that anything going off a coffee still was just crap. And it was grain, and they wanted nothing to do with it. It says only malt and unmalted barley in this product. Of course, sadly, the entire Irish whiskey market cratered at the beginning of the 20th with the Irish Civil War and prohibition in the United States, things like that. And so it's just finally coming back around. And so thankfully, Walsh has kind of been ahead of this whole new revolution, the whole Irish industry, for about almost 25 years now, so we're getting there. So anyways, this is 40%, which I know, not exciting, 40%, but hey, I think they do a good job. It is 40% single malt, 60% single pot still. Like I said, all of it's made in a copper pot, and of course, it is triple distilled. It's an ex-bourbon casks, and it's a blend, which technically it's a blend, but like I said, it's only malted and unmalted barley. So let's see what we think of the second product ever put out by the Walsh Distillery. It's, sourced.
Well, it is buttery and creamy as all get out. I don't, like you're saying, there's none of those grain notes. There's none of that sharp, shiny metallic that you get in Jameson and the Sexton. This is very, very clean. Yeah, I would expect my price point to be a little bit higher than the Jameson and the
Yeah,
Sexton.
I know when I bought this bottle originally, I think I paid like $32. And I was looking online earlier to see what they're up to nowadays. They're like it's like 35 to 40, what I find on most websites now. So still not terrible.
No, 40 is in still in a decent range.
Yeah, I got a lot of malt, cereal, some tropical fruits.
It's very clean. It's very oceanfront property, drying clean linen.
Totally. Some apples, some honey, Madagascar vanilla, milk chocolate, little bran flakes, banana, honeysuckle, a little bit of lavender.
Get a little bit of grapefruit.
Get definitely a little coriander, papaya,
It's
mango.
all very light and friendly and pretty.
Absolutely, it's a pretty Irish whiskey.
Yeah. Nothing trying to fight you in there at all, besides the alcohol vapor if you're not used to 40%.
Yeah. Besides that, but 40%, since your base requirement, and has to be at least 3 years old to be Irish whiskey, so I know that for sure. It's at least those two things. Yeah, it smells good. All right. Tastes good too.
Mm-hmm.
It's very malty, which no surprise since all malt. Kind of like like Whoppers, the inside of a Whopper, or Robin eggs. Reminds me a lot of that. That milk chocolate, a bit of banana. Same thing with the tropical fruits.
If you'd have blind me on this, I'd probably tell you 43.
Yeah, it doesn't taste like 40 at all. It's also got a really nice oily viscosity to it. It's not thin or watery by any means.
That's why I want to say 43 is the oiliness of this. It has a much more dense mouthfeel than most 40s do.
Oh, totally. Yeah, it's
Unless
a
it's
really
like
nice.
a ridiculous age on it.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
typically get all this oil, all this density.
I don't know if there are any age-stated Irish tears. There might be some writer tears that are that way. I'm not sure. I know we've got several of these to review. I know that Galen let us borrow his cask strength, so we'll do that one soon, which I'm excited to do that one. There's an ice wine. There's a Marsala. There's several of them out there on the market, so we'll try to get to them over the next year. Cognac, double oak. There's several. We'll cover them at some point in time.
Mm.
But it's got this like clean, warm summer day, your hair blowing in the wind, like an ocean out in the breeze. It's a beautiful, that salt, but it's just a beautiful Irish day.
Yeah,
it tastes really good. This is a great whiskey for the price and for the oil. I like this. This is really good.
yeah, I do too. I enjoy that quite a bit. I think it punches a little bit above its weight class.
Totally.
$50. I'm happy with my purchase. I'm buying a second bottle with that. I'm not sad about that. I'd be happier at 32. I'm not going to lie.
I agree. Yeah, when I bought back, I bought this like 2017, something like that.
But
so
I like it.
Well, I like it. It's good. It's good stuff. I like. Yeah, it's got nice black pepper, salt here. Still going on the finish.
Let us know in the comment section what's your favorite writer's tears. Is there an age stated one? Do we need to know about?
If there is, awesome. Love to try.
All right. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Click that notification bell. We're also live every Monday night. Come hang out with us there. Join the conversation. Become part of the community. Until next time, keep on crusading for the whiskey in your glass.
Cheers.
Cheers.